next thing that we're going to focus on is eye makeup. So we're going to do a little bit more of like a sultry, glam, kind of smoky eye today, using a number of products from the normal Artistry collection and then also the new Artistry Studio Tokyo collection as well. So the first thing that I'm going to start off with is the long-wearing brown eye pencil, and I'm going to use this as an eyeshadow base for our beautiful shadows to go on top. So I'm going to do a little bit more of a halo eye technique today. So that just means that we're going to focus on a little bit of a darker edge, a darker inner corner, and then a brighter center. So I'm just going to start with my pencil at the lash line, and I'm just going to use it to the crease. I'm going to take that on the other side as well, just in the inner corner. Again, starting at the lash line and working the product a little bit further up towards the crease of the eye. Now, because the Artistry pencil is so long wearing, we want to make sure that we're blending and smudging this out, focusing on one eye and then shifting to the other eye. I'm going to go in with my small shader brush just to smudge this product out and blend it into the crease. Now, don't worry too much about the inner part of the eye or the center of the eye, because we're going to keep that free of product. So we're going to go in with a lighter shade. And don't worry too much about your positioning of the pencil when you're placing it onto the skin initially either, because you are going to smudge it out anyway. So the reason why I like to use pencils as an eye base, because they just help with longevity and they also help with color intensity. So it's going to be easier to build up a stronger color payoff if you're using a pencil or an eye base underneath. And we're going to drag this color up in an upward motion. Just open for me and just look straight ahead. Now, I do usually like to do a little bit of blending with the eye open, just so I can see where the color's naturally going to sit with the person's eye open. So now we've got that side done, we're going to go on the other side. So again, starting really, really close to the lash line, right at the root of the lash, and then dragging that color upward towards the crease. Now, if you don't know where the crease is, just look straight ahead for me, Cindy. It's just here where your fold of skin sits. Now, this is just a base, so it's not going to look perfect straight away. It's definitely a process to build the color up. So don't stress too much if it doesn't look perfect straight away. So again, we're going to go in with our small shader and we're just going to start to smudge this product out. Again, dragging it in an upward motion and just buffing out the edges. Now, the reason why I like to buff the edges out before I go in with any powder product on top is because if you're going to set the cream or if you're going to set a crayon in place, you really need the blending to be done prior, otherwise you're going to set any sharp edges into place. So again, I'm just going to do a little bit of blending with the eye open. So just to make sure that we've got some really nice smooth edges, I'm going to go in with my large shader brush and I'm just going to soften the very outer edge of the eye makeup that I've popped on. And then I'm just going to build it up in the areas where I need to, getting a little bit of the pencil onto my brush directly, and then adding intensity where I need it. So the next step that I'm going to do is actually set this product in place. So I'm going to go in with two eyeshadows from the new Artistry Studio eyeshadow and lip palette, with two of the darker shades in the palette. So one is a little bit more matte and then one is a little bit more iridescent or frosted. So I'm just going to mix those two shades that I've showed you together. I'm going to tap off the excess of my brush, and then I'm just going to press the product directly on top of where I've placed my pencil. I'm just going to start to smoke that pencil out a little bit. So just keep blending that until you're satisfied with how it's looking. Always make sure that you're dragging the color up and out, and then I'm just softening that color through the crease as well. So we're just going to do the same step on the other side. So I'm going to go in with the two lighter colors from this palette. I'm going to use my same fluffy brush. I'm just going to press those together, tap the excess off. And then what I like to do is actually use the setting spray from the Artistry Studio collection and give that a little spritz onto my brush. And I'm going to start to press that lighter color through the center of the lid. I'm then going to take both of those colors that I've placed in the center of the lid space on my small eye crease brush, and I'm just going to pop that into the inner corner as well. Always tapping off the excess on my brush so I'm not depositing too much product and not getting any fallout. I'm just going to take that just in that tear duct area underneath the lash line. Now, if you do want a little bit more color intensity, you can spray the brush again with your setting spray just to intensify the shine of the shadow. I'm then going to go in with both of the darker colors that I've used on top of the lid space, and I'm going to drag those underneath the lash line. So I'm just going to use my small shader brush just because it's really precise and it's going to really push that product into the lash. And I'm just going to drag that 3/4 of the way across just to give that lower lash line a really nice sultry, smoky vibe. I'm then going to go back in with my brown pencil. I'm just going to take that inside the inner waterline, and then I'm just going to drag that out a little bit lower as well. I'm then going to get a little bit of that product onto my small shader brush, just to darken up that lower lash line. So you always want to make sure that you're smudging any pencil lines in an outward motion, just so you get a really nice soft, sultry smudge to the eye makeup. So now we've blended out our eyeshadow perfectly, the next thing is to add mascara. So in the Tokyo collection, we have 2 new mascaras. We have a blue and a brown. I really love this brown because it has a slight shimmer through it, and it's a really nice warm brown to complement a blue or a brown or really any eye color. So I'm gonna grab a disposable wand and I'm gonna slightly bend the wand as it's coming out of the bottom. We've already pre-curled Cindy's lashes, so the reason why I like to bend disposable wands like this is because it means you can really get to the root of the lash and press the product in. So I'm just gonna do a few layers of that mascara. I'm just anchoring myself to the lid space as well. Although if you are doing mascara on yourself, it's a little bit easier to sometimes look straight at the camera and almost blink onto the mascara wand. Brown's also a really nice choice for mascara if you want a little bit of a softer look to your lashes. I'm just going to go into that bottom lash line. Now, if you get a little bit of mascara onto the skin, don't be scared, don't freak out. Definitely don't try to rub it off the skin straight away, because all you're going to do is really impact the makeup application underneath. So a good trick to do is to let it dry, then you're going to grab a cotton tip and then you're just going to flick the product off your makeup. Now, I do like to do a couple of layers of mascara just so you get a really nice long full lash, or alternatively you could use your mascara primer from the Bangkok collection as well. So now the eyes are done, just to finish off the skin, we're gonna go in and highlight the skin a little bit. Now, I love to use eyeshadows as highlighters, so they're gonna give you a really nice sheen to the skin. So I'm just gonna grab my finger and I'm just gonna grab the lighter colors from the eyeshadow section of this palette. I'm just gonna tap that onto the higher planes of the face, just so I get a really nice dense application around the temple. Now you can go in with a smaller brush as well to do this. A smaller brush is going to create a more concentrated application similar to your finger. If you want a soft application or you don't want as an intense application, you can definitely go in with a larger, fluffier brush. And I'm just going to do the other side. So I'm just going to start around the orbital bone and just move the product around the cheekbone and just tapping and blending that into the skin and just taking it on top of the cheek there. Now we've got really beautiful glowy skin everywhere else, so I'm not going to go in too heavy with product through the center of the face.